The 7 stars of the Eastern Domain, kin to the 4 mansions of the Northern Domain, are 7 young figures chosen by region. Their strength is top tier, though not necessarily absolutely the strongest. They are at least truly talented individuals, not those who boast falsely. Simon Jinling originally came here only for Nalan Chuan. Unexpectedly, fate arranged for him a scene of a hero saving a beauty. His heart rejoiced, and seeing that the other party was weakened after battling Nalan Chuan, it was a perfect opportunity for him to show off. Yan Jingqiu's expression immediately turned as dark as the bottom of a pot, and he said coldly, Simon Jinling, bear the consequences of the world's disputes yourself. You had best consider carefully. HMPH, why bother with trash like you? Simon Jinling said dismissively, lunging forward. With a single move, he struck directly at Yan Jingqiu, his aura like drunken poetry, treating royalty with utter disdain. Yan Jingqiu was startled, his scalp tingling. He shouted, You're going too far. I'll fight you. He roared and raised his battle saber, flashing straight down. A bolt of lightning erupted in midair. In an instant, Simon Jinling's whole body went numb. An oppressive force like a mountain descended, striking him directly. That force hit Simon Jinling directly in the chest. He spat out a mouthful of blood and was sent flying backward. He fell right at Nalan Chuan's feet. She was alarmed and quickly helped him up, saying, Young Master Simon, were you all right? Yan Jingqiu stood frozen like a statue, unable to understand how one saber strike had so severely injured Simon Jinling, who was at the peak of the Wuzun realm. He muttered, have I wakened the lightning god buddy? Lai Yingxiao coldly sneered inwardly, thinking, You're not a good person either, but I even less want to see that guy putting on a show. The person you were aiming for was knocked away. This time, I definitely won't play along with your script. Young Master Simon, were you okay? Nalan Chuan quickly helped him. Simon Jinling's internal organs were injured, and he could only cough up blood, gasping for breath, and said, I'm fine. Pahar, it seems heaven is on my side. Yan Jingqiu laughed loudly and said coldly, Nalan Chuan, this time let's see who can save you. You cultivate Yin Kai. Quickly come with me. Simon Jinling, finding strength from somewhere, got up and tried to run, shouting repeatedly, Sister Chuan, I'll go call for help to save you and avenge you. I'll be back shortly. He had originally come to approach Nalan Chuan, but at this moment, his own life was a priority. Since the other party was targeting her, they probably wouldn't bother chasing him. Nalan Chuan was stunned, a hint of bitterness and confusion appearing in her eyes. Was the person who just appeared really her savior? Yan Jingqiu's eyes flashed with ruthlessness. Although he wanted to kill Simon Jinling, seizing Yin Kai to break through to Wu Dai was his main goal. Just then, Lai Yingxiao was about to make another move. Suddenly, he stopped because he sensed a familiar aura had appeared first. A lung spear, like a roaring dragon, descended from the sky, carrying an extremely overbearing aura, directly blasting Yan Jingqiu away. Yan Jingqiu exclaimed in shock, Who is it again? I just awakened my lightning god buddy, so get lost if you know what's good for you. The long spear struck the ground and trembled slightly, as if wanting to rise up alive. A dragon's might spread through the air, and the sky instantly changed color. Yan Jingqiu trembled and said fearfully, could it be the legendary thing? He quickly retreated and fled as a beam of light. The members of the Ice Block organization immediately scattered, each running for their lives. Lai Yingxiao glanced at the newcomer and turned to leave. Suddenly, an aura locked onto him. It was the person holding the spear, who said coldly, You see me and still want to run. Lai Yingxiao clearly saw that face. It was King An, one of his former companions with whom he had adventured in Mount Sumeru in the past. Lai Yingxiao calmly turned around and said with a laugh, Pahar, I didn't expect Brother Luo to recognize me so quickly. Yuo King An immediately exuded a cold aura and said with a snort, I'd recognize you even if you were ashes. You stole my heavenly spirit ring. After Nalan Chuan escaped the danger, she said gratefully, So it's Big Brother Luo. Thank you, Big Brother Luo, for saving my life. However, she found it strange and asked, Does Big Brother Luo know this person? Lai King An sneered, saying they were just casual acquaintances and that he thought every day about when he could stomp on his face. In the distance, Simon Jinling huddled in the corner, his face pale from the incident, as this outcome was completely not what he had hoped for, his cowardice in the face of death having been exposed to everyone, for he would have rather Nalan Jikun be taken away than see her saved, as he had nowhere left to hide his face. Pahar, Brother Lao, how have you been? Your spear is far too sharp, so remember not to accidentally hurt your little brother. Lai Yingxiao laughed heartily and stepped back slightly. Lai King An worked up to him and found that he was still only at the martial sovereign realm. This surprised Lai King An. He had broken through to martial venerable and had always kept Lai Yingxiao as his target, but seeing him again now, the difference was like heaven and earth, leaving him extremely disappointed and even blaming the other for not practicing diligently. He carefully scrutinized Lai Yingxiao's cultivation level, and after confirming he was a 5-star martial sovereign, he was stunned and said with disappointment, You are no longer worthy of my spear. Leave what you took at Mount Sumeru and vanish from Red Moon City, and don't let me see you again. Lai Yingxiao slapped his forehead and said that ring had likely been crushed by the Carnation Array. He chuckled softly and said, The items are gone, so no need to see me off. I'll be going now. Then turned his back intending to leave. Anger appeared on Lai King An's face as he shouted, Your strength hasn't increased but your personality is still the same. Since you want me to act, I'll oblige you. And with that, he reached out with his hand to grab him. Lai Yingxiao still wore a leisurely smile and also raised his hand in response. A golden light flashed on his hand as he directly caught Lai King An's claws. Lai King An's pupils contracted, and his face showed a look of utter disbelief. Lai Yingxiao continued to smile and said, Brother Lao, don't tease me. You are a 7-star martial venerable, surely you aren't trying to blow me up with one punch. Seeing things weren't right, Nalan Jikun hardly stepped forward and asked, Brother Lao, are you alright? Lai King An's expression was unsightly to the extreme. A punch with 80% of his power had been completely contained. He looked closely. His fist was already soaked, and he had completely lost sensation in it. Damn it, Lai King An couldn't help but curse. This kid was so strung, he was almost fooled by that smiling face. He should have known from the start that he was someone who pretends to be a pig to eat a tiger. Battle intent flared in Lai King An's eyes, mixed with a hint of secret joy. The men he had always been chasing indeed did not disappoint him, despite his light injury. His mood had improved, and he snorted softly, saying, "I'm fine. Kid, the more I look at your face, the more I want to stomp on it." Lai Yingxiao curled his lip and said with a smile, "If you want to stomp on me, get in line." "Oh my, we've arrived late. It looks like we've missed all the fun." Space twisted slightly as two figures appeared as if dropping out of air. Lai Yingxiao was slightly surprised to encounter more acquaintances. He truly didn't know what kind of day this was turning out to be. Nalan Jiquan said happily, "So it is Brother Zhu King from Tingxiao Pavilion and Brother Pei Minjuan from Li Lai Mountain Villa. If you two had arrived a little earlier, I wouldn't have been bullied." Zhu King glanced at Lai Yingxiao and then said with a smile, "With Brother Lai and Brother Ximen here, who would dare touch you?" Nalan Jiquan laughed and said, "That's not it." The villain was driven away by Brother Lai and everyone else. In the distance, Ximen Jinling's face burned hot, wondering if they had seen his pathetic state, especially since Pei Minjuan was also one of the 7 stars. If word got out, he would surely want his name removed from the list. Nalan Jiquan wore a bewitching smile and said softly, "Brother Lai and everyone else, please come inside so I may repay you for saving my life." Lai Qing'an replied that there was something he wished to trouble the young lady with. Nalan Jiquan turned back with a seductive smile and said, "Young Master Ximen and Brother Lai's friend, please come in as well." Lai Yingxiao chuckled and said, "This is a little embarrassing. You all are heroes of the Eastern region. I am only a martial sovereign, and joining in feels a bit out of place." "Ah, it really is you." Zhu King recognized Lai Yingxiao in surprise and said, "You aren't dead? Are you here for Zhang Yuobing as well?" Lai Yingxiao smiled and said, "It was pure luck. I only kept my life thanks to Brother Zhu's intervention that day." Zhu King's expression gradually stabilized, and he said with a smile, "It was nothing. Brother Lai's strength was remarkable that day, but I didn't expect you would still be a martial sovereign after all this time. What a pity. You must have been so severely injured that day that it damaged your foundation." Qing'an snorted coldly in annoyance. He had also been deceived by Lai Yingxiao hiding his cultivation. Lai Yingxiao said with a smile, "That must be it. Looking at Brother Zhu's aura, you must have reached martial venerable." Pei Minjuan spoke up impatiently, "Even if you are old acquaintances, your strengths are now far apart, so there's no need for formalities. Lady Jiquan is still waiting." Zhu King nodded, his gaze cooling as he looked at Lai Yingxiao and said, "I have business with you later, come with me." Lai Qing'an huffed and laughed to himself. He knew Zhu King was still thinking about Lai Yingxiao's 9th grade mystical artifact, and if he dared to act, he would only be bringing trouble upon himself. Nalan Jiquan chuckled gracefully and said, "Distinguished talents, please come inside. If we stand outside for too long, others will say I don't know how to treat my guests." Everyone entered one by one. Nalan Jiquan ordered the maids to prepare fine wine for the reception, and after taking their places, they sat facing one another. Lai Qing'an cast a somber glance at Lai Yingxiao. He was absolutely certain that this man's current strength was the most terrifying among everyone present. "Thank you today for Brother Lai's rescue, otherwise I would not have been lucky enough to escape this disaster. Let me offer this cup to you, Brother Lai." Nalan Jiquan stood up sincerely, raising her cup to clink it against Lai Qing'an's. The sound of her collision rang out, carrying a hint of suggestiveness, forcing the men to stir. Each of them was dazed by the combination of an original yin body and the original embryo wine technique. It was truly like a soul-entrancing divine wine. Though her every movement was not intentionally seductive, it still made people's hearts sway. Ximen Jinling's face was as gloomy as if it were about to drip water, looking so unsightly that he was speechless. Pei Minjuan smiled and said, "Brother Ximen, why do you look so sad? Have you overacted your part?" Nalan Jiquan poured herself a cup and worked gently over to Ximen Jinling. Raising the cup, she said, "If young Master Ximen hadn't acted first, Dixuan fears she would have lost her life. This cup is to you." Ximen Jinling's face flushed crimson, as if he had forgotten his previous embarrassment, and he smiled humbly, saying, "Sister Jixuan, you're too kind. Helping those in need is simply my duty. There's no need to always keep it in mind." As the two cups clinked, Ximen Jinling felt that as soon as the wine entered his stomach, his whole body began to go limp. Suddenly, an invisible force spread out, and the cup in his hand abruptly exploded with a loud bang. He cried out in pain and quickly covered his mouth, yet he still spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. Everyone looked at each other in stunned silence, wondering what had just happened. "Dear." Ximen Jinling was both shocked and enraged, blood trickling through his fingers as he stared coldly at Nalan Jiquan. She quickly said, "It wasn't me," her heart equally shaken. The force just now was identical to the one that saved her from Yanzing Cure. Both originated right beside her and then exploded, allowing her to feel it clearly powerful, overbearing, yet discreet, leaving no trace behind. Her heart trembled. Could it be that the person who saved her before wasn't Ximen Jinling? If Jixuan says it wasn't her, then it certainly wasn't. "I believe her," Yuo Qing'an said slowly, warming Nalan Jixuan's heart as he looked at him with grateful eyes. Pei Minjuan also frowned and thawed and said, "A wine cup wouldn't explode for no reason. I believe Sister Jixuan didn't do it, but the culprit is certainly among us." Ximen Jinling's expression turned cold as he looked around and said, "If it wasn't her, then could it be?" A realization flashed in his mind. While fighting Yanzing Yur, he had the upper hand but was ambushed and heavily injured, and just as he was about to flee, Yuo Qing'an appeared and stole his hero, saving the beauty moment. "So that's how it is." Killing intent surged from Ximen Jinling as he said coldly, "The one who acted was you, wasn't it, Yuo Qing'an? It turns out you've been playing tricks behind the scenes from the start." Yuo Qing'an poured himself some wine and drank leisurely, letting out a soft snort. His arrogance made him too lazy to explain, yet he was inwardly terrified. Someone who could act silently before everyone's eyes, neither Zhu King nor Pei Minjuan could do it, so that only left Lai Yingxiao. Thinking of this, he glanced coldly at Lai Yingxiao, who was still pretending to be dazed. Just how strong was his power to be able to strike right before his eyes? Yuo Qing'an's blood boiled, and he almost wanted to charge into battle. Yuo Qing'an's combative look caught Ximen Jinling's eye, making him think it was an admission of guilt, which turned his face purple with rage. Yuo Qing'an crushed his wine cup, thinking to himself that Lai Yingxiao was still hiding his true strength. His aura became sharp, and his gaze was directed straight towards Ximen Jinling. With just a single look, Ximen Jinling trembled as a chill ran down his spine. Liu Qingyan was like a spear about to strike, capable of piercing through anything, and even though Xaiman was 1 star higher in rank, he still felt it hard to resist. Now Jixuan spoke up, young Master Xaiman, I believe what happened just now wasn't Brother Liu's doing. Seeing her intervene, Xaiman Jinling regained his momentum and said angrily, if not him, then who? Pei Minjuan stood by, secretly regretting that there was no good drama to watch. Tu King chuckled softly and said, Brother Xaiman, you need evidence when you speak. If you just hurl accusations blindly, who's going to accept them? Xaiman Jinling said coldly, I don't have evidence, but I can deduce it. Erla, when I was fighting that 7-star martial sovereign, I was certain of victory but was ambushed, and then his face contorted, and he stopped talking. Lai Yingxiao smiled and asked, what happened then? How did you turn the tide? Liu Qingyan looked at that smiling face and just wanted to give it a kick. Xaiman Jinling's face turned red as he said angrily, after that, I was heavily injured, and then Liu Qingyan came out of nowhere to save Miss Jixuan, playing the hero saving the beauty. Lai Yingxiao smiled and said, oh, so that's how it was. I'm too weak, so I couldn't tell. Liu Qingyan inwardly cursed him for being such a hypocrite. Now Jixuan's expression turned cold as he said in a low voice, young Master Xaiman, what's your words? I believe Brother Liu is not that kind of person. He only just arrived. Xaiman Jinling snorted coldly, only just arrived. Then he pointed at Lai Yingxiao and said, I suspect this whole thing was orchestrated by Liu Qingyan. This guy was an accomplice in that group and knows him. Plus, with all the suspicious points, he's the one who benefited the most. Isn't that enough? Now Jixuan looked at Lai Yingxiao, her expression turning completely cold, and said, explain yourself clearly. Did you collude with Brother Liu? Why did you join those people to attack me? What organization are you from? Lai Yingxiao gave a bitter smile and said, why are all the arrows pointed at me? I have nothing to do with it. I was forced into it. I heard it's called the Ice Block Organization. Afterward, he didn't hide anything and recounted the story of how he arrived at Red Moon City and was dragged into the Ice Block Organization by Wenlin. Then he even told them the reason why they had attacked Nao and Jixuan. After hearing it, everyone's eyes widened in surprise. Pei Minjuan clutched his stomach and laughed heartily, clapping the table as he said, I never expected that Miss Jixuan came to Red Moon City for the martial competition stage. Tu Fan and Liu Qingyan also burst into laughter, their expressions full of quirkiness. Now Jixuan's cheeks flushed red, and she crossly called him a rogue, accusing him of fabricating stories about her and little sister Yuobing, saying she had only come to chat this time, never expecting to be framed by a villain and used by others. Lai Yingxiao nodded and agreed, saying he observed that in this Ice Block group, there were many who truly liked Lady Zaini but were being manipulated by Yan Jingqiu and big sister Ayan Mallet, then asked if Jixuan knew Ayan Mallet's background. Now Jixuan said softly that there was someone so obese in the world that it was clear who she was as soon as she was mentioned. Who is it? Lai Yingxiao asked curiously. She hesitated then shook her head, saying not to ask as he would find out after staying in Red Moon City a bit longer. She hadn't expected her to target her and feared she also had designs on little sister Yuobing, so she had to quickly return to the Jiang family to inform her. Diamond Jinling snorted coldly, saying even so, suspicion against Liu Qingyan hadn't been eliminated. He knew the ice blocks, and Yan Jingyu, whom he had almost killed, was still able to counterattack and injure him. Lai Yingxiao smiled and said besides Brother Liu, I also know Brother Tu Fan. Why don't you suspect him too? Diamond Jinling became enraged and said coldly, we martial sovereigns are talking. What is a martial lord like you interjecting for? Do you not know how the word death is written? Now Jixuan felt annoyed and said coldly, enough, Master Xaiman. He is my benefactor, and I don't want to hear any more slander. I hope you show some self-respect. Diamond Jinling noticed her change in attitude and said angrily, fine, you are all on the same side. I won't stay any longer. Farewell. No need to see me out. He replied curtly, I won't. With no word to vent his rage, he pointed at Lai Yingxiao and said, don't think that just because of Liu Qingyan I can't do anything to you. Don't let me catch you alone. Now Jixuan showed clear disdain. She couldn't understand how someone who only bullied the weak could become one of the 7-star disciples. Liu Qingyan suddenly said, I'm not protecting him. We have nothing to do with each other. If young Master Xaiman wants to cause trouble, help yourself, no need to mind me. Lai Yingxiao put on a sorrowful face and said, Brother Liu, don't abandon me so cruelly. Liu Qingyan just wanted to rip off the fake expression, snorted, and told him to get lost. Tu Fan smiled inwardly, thinking he was practical, though they shared life and death on MT. Sumeru, the strengths were worlds apart now, making it hard to be as close as before. Bahar, good. You said it yourself. I'll take this boy's life. Diamond Jinling sneered at Lai Yingxiao. Better pray to God you don't fall into my hands. Suddenly, Tu Fan suggested that Lai Yingxiao join Tide Listening Pavilion. With him now, Diamond Jinling wouldn't dare move. Pei Minjuan was surprised, unable to understand why he would protect such a person. Defending a 7-star disciple was no trivial matter. Liu Qingyan laughed dismissively and asked what was so good about Tai Listening Pavilion. Lai Yingxiao was the lord of Yanwu City, a place with such rare and abundant spiritual energy that it surpassed even the 7 major forces. Why leave a sacred land to follow barren hills and shallow waters? Both Pei Minjuan and Nalan Jixuan were astonished. Yanwu City was currently a prize everyone desired. If not for the Yan lords of the sacred realm, it would have been carved up long ago. Despite the ban, some were still secretly plotting. For sex, while experts were vital, the foundation lay in sacred lands for training. Hence the northern region was strongest while the south was mostly deserted and rarely visited. Pei Minjuan's disdain vanished. He smiled and said, so you're from the cell. A 5-star martial lord isn't bad. If you join Lapis Lazuli Villa, I'll guarantee your safety, give you 7th-tier mysterious weapons, full resources and pills, and even invite a martial emperor to transmit techniques. Raising you to a high level wouldn't be hard. Lai Yingxiao wanted to laugh at this. As soon as Pei Minjuan finished speaking, Nalan Jixuan smiled radiantly, like a spring flower in bloom. Her charm radiating, she said softly, I didn't expect young Master Lai to have such a prominent background. Our Silda Moon sect also hopes you'll join. You surely heard of the Yuan Tai wine technique. As long as you contribute, An elder will grant a female disciple for dual cultivation, making breakthroughs as easy as turning over a hand. All three simultaneously extended an olive branch. Whoever could recruit Lai Yingxiao would achieve a great feat and surely be well rewarded. Now Jixuan drew even closer, asking with a voice as soft as water, "What does young Master Lai think?" Lai Yingxiao chuckled softly and said, "I wonder which female disciple would be rewarded to me. If the elder is willing to give me fairy Jixuan, I'll agree immediately." While speaking, he enjoyed her fragrance. She giggled and replied that there were many sisters in the sect more beautiful than her. Perhaps if the elder and sect master are pleased, they might let you choose freely. Even choosing several would be fine. She was already a beauty, and now using the Yuan Tai wine technique made it even more enchanting. Few in the world could resist that charm. Even a martial sovereign would struggle to maintain composure. She was confident Lai Yingxiao would eventually fall for it. Pei Menjuan and Tu Fan found it hard to endure as physiological reactions rose. They hurriedly suppressed them to avoid exposing themselves. The person they initially looked down upon had become a sought-after prize. The two felt both jealous and curious, feeling uncomfortable but wanting to see what happened next. Lai Yingxiao smiled and said, "As for joining the Silver Moon sect, let's pass. But if Lady Jixuan agrees to one condition, I may consider having Yanwu City collaborate with the Silver Moon sect." "What condition?" "Collaborate?" Nalan Jixuan asked. "Son." Lai Yingxiao smiled and said, "Have you heard of the EC Moon Bright Pearls? I need those, as many as possible. If you can gather 24, Yanwu City will open its doors for cooperation." Everyone stared blankly at Lai Yingxiao. The previous ambiguous atmosphere should have been used to demand a different sort of condition. Nobody expected him to say that. It was quite a mood killer. Nalan Jixuan suddenly felt a rare sense of emptiness. No man had ever remained so calm before her. She realized her charm wasn't as divine as she thought and mused that the EC Moon Bright Pearls were treasures from the EC, not easily obtained. If young Master Lai needed them, why not ask the Merchant Union? They would surely have them if the price was high enough. Lai Yingxiao sighed and said, "I have already inquired at over 50 chambers of commerce, and all items have been bought up by one person. That person is the current matriarch of the Jiang family. I heard that Lady Jixuan is close to the Jiang family's second young mistress." Upon hearing this, Nalan Jixuan understood his meaning. He wanted to use this connection to ask about the pearl. She said that the Jiang matriarch was Yuobin's mother but not her biological one, and their relationship was indifferent. Since the EC lunar pearl was of great value, she feared it would be difficult to request. She thought for a moment and then continued, "The condition young Master Lai offered is a bit high. I will try, but your cultivation is low while your temper is large. You should be careful in Red Moon City to avoid making too many enemies." Lai Yingxiao laughed and said, "Thank you for the reminder. I act fairly and honorably, so I probably won't be ganged up on." Everyone who heard this was stunned. This guy's skin was truly thick. Even the original womb liquor spirit couldn't move him. Could it be that he was not interested in women? Liu Qingyan suddenly spoke up, "Sister Jixuan, you plan to meet Jiang Yuobing. Can you let me go with you?" Nalan Jixuan paused for a moment. She asked, "Is big brother Liu also here to participate in the martial arts competition to choose a son-in-law?" Her eyes showed a hand of melancholy that was hard to look at. Liu Qingyan said, "Not necessarily to choose a bride, I just have private business. If forced, participating is also fine." Pei Minjuan snorted and said, "I didn't expect that the elegant brother Liu would also be captivated by Yuobin's beauty and power. We'll have to see each other's strength on the stage then." Liu Qingyan replied, "Doesn't brother Pei also have intentions? And not just for one person?" Hearing this, Nalan Jixuan gave a soft snort of annoyance. She turned to Liu Qingyan and said, "In that case, let's not delay. I'm going to the Jiang family to see Yuobing. Big brother Liu can come along, but it's not convenient for me to lead others." Pei Minjuan smiled and said, "It's fine, we'll meet on the martial stage anyway. 3 days from now at Clear Wind Bright Moon, there is an exchange gathering hosted by Nguyen Tu Mao, head of the Eastern Region's 7 stars. It will gather the world's talents. I hope brother Liu comes. I heard experts from the northern and western regions will also attend." He glanced at Lai Yingxiao and said mockingly, "Maybe the southern region will also have experts coming to join the fun." As Liu Qingyan walked past Lai Yingxiao, he snorted coldly and said, "I'm still looking for you." Nalan Jixuan looked at the two of them for a moment, then released an exquisite small boat and flew away on the wind. On the way, she couldn't help but ask, "Big brother Liu, what did you mean earlier when you sent me a voice transmission telling me not to dispute with Lai Yingxiao?" Liu Qingyan looked at her calmly and said, "I was protecting you." Nalan Jixuan asked blankly, "What do you mean by protecting me?" Liu Qingyan looked at her and said in a deep voice, "At any time, do not come into conflict with him. He is the most terrifying person I have ever met among the mainland's youth, surpassing even Nguyen Tu Mao." Nalan Jixuan was stunned and said, "How can that be? He is only a 5-star martial lord." Liu Qingyan snorted softly and said, "He is a type who plays the pig to eat the tiger. If he didn't have unfathomable strength, how could he hide his cultivation from us?" He clenched his fist, still feeling a sharp pain. Nalan Jixuan looked at his hand, which still bore marks, and was left in shock. After the Silver Moon sect members and Liu Qingyan left, the gazes of Tu Fan and Pei Minjuan immediately focused on Lai Yingxiao. Their cold stares gradually grew heavier. Lai Yingxiao said with a silly smile, "What do you two mean by staring at me like that?" He looked as harmless as an innocent passerby.